kids
That's
from?
a real gun. These
Gosh.
kids are from all around the neighborhood.
He's back.
Huh?
He's back.
Watch me touch
Chris is back.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Chris.
Where are you from, Chris?
New York.
New York.
Come on.
Huh.
Look at him.
Okay. That's Ann, right?
Be the first one.
Hey, Ann, how are you?
Pretty good.
All right. How long are you going to stay here, Ben?
This gun.
Ann?
think just 2 more days.
2 more days? Okay, what's his name? Number 15.
I got it for you.
No.
I'm
Who?
aiming right at your leg, too.
Oh, well, are you from
See how
Capella?
fast you run right there.
Are you from neighborhood Capella?
No, I'm from Bell Tower.
Hey.
Bell Tower. I see.
What?
I feel it. See if it's metal.
What's his name? What's his name?
See if it's
Jake.
metal.
Jake.
Jake?
Looks pretty real.
Jacob.
Where are you from, Jake?
What do you mean?
Bell
yourself?
Tower.
It is real, man.
Which tower?
He doesn't have
from
Bell Tower.
Yeah, it
Bell Tower.
says. I
And
shot
what's
it.
his name? He's shy.
Let me shoot it again. I'm Mr. Beede.
Same place. And I talked to him, eh? What's his name?
Hey, Joe. Joe.
Wow.
Look over
Joe.
there. He's talking to you.
Oh.
Hi, Joe.
Hey.
You're from Capella. I know you. Right?
That's the funky
Yeah.
one, but it's
Yeah, he's from Capella.
Oh.
Yeah. He comes to
always
our neighborhood too sometimes. Yeah.
Carl was like,
All right. Okay, Mr. Beede. Mr. Beede. Mr. Beede.
Yeah.
Let me see that.
Are you having a good time?
Yeah, I'm having a good time. Yeah.
Especially your last chapter here now. You know which one I'm talking about?
I just come out. Don't get out of it. I just come out.
I landed
just came out?
perfectly on that stone.
Your nephew is here, right? That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, nephew, your grandchild. Yeah.
All 6
Oh,
of them.
there he is.
There he is. Look at them. Wow. Paul, how are you?
How much rounds does it got left?
Is everybody
Oh, these are yours?
Yeah, we're ready to press them things here.
How are you?
Okay, how
You
you
look
doing?
good. Where's Rick?
I don't know where I could have
Right.
that.
Okay. Let me go and get the last chapter. You see, in our book, he has been missing. Now we got him.
There he is.
There he is. Okay.
All right.
Let's go sit down somewhere.
All right. Where do you want to sit down at?
Anywhere. Right
I'll
here?
sit right here.
Right there?
Yeah.
Or how about here?
Oh.
This is better.
Oh, we're here?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
That's good. Okay. A little bit dark in here, really.
So you want to get a lighter spot?
Huh? It's a little bit dark.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you have been missing in our book.
Yeah.
So, we have been talking about you occasionally.
Uh-huh.
Anytime we have seen your mom, your dad, you know, you're making a documentary about the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and most of the families have been in this project.
Wow.
Yeah. But this is really the nicest and the most interesting part of it.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. Now, so I just want you to talk to see how you do, what you do.
Okay.
What's your, I don't know,
Okay.
view of everything, of life, of
Oh, wow.
anything you want.
Okay. Well, I live in Arcata, California,
Uh-huh.
and I like to race bikes. And next year I'm going on a bike ride around the world. It's called Odyssey 2000. We're going to leave January 1st from Los Angeles. 250 of us. We're going to ride the beginning of the Rose Parade, and then we're going to ride our bikes around the world. And on the way back, we're going to come through the Rose Parade at the end of the Rose Parade.
Around the world.
Yeah, by bicycle.
Okay.
So that trip's starting January 1st. I'll be gone for the whole year. And I live out there with my 12-year-old son, Ian. And I recently had a job working at the airport, and now I'm unemployed, getting ready for my big round-the-world bike trip.
Who pays for this? How do you do this?
I've been saving my money over the years.
Really?
Yeah, for quite a few years now. Saving every penny I had so I could go on this trip.
Uh-huh.
Because I like to travel and I like to ride bikes, so it's the perfect trip for me.
How come you are a little bit different and or separated from the rest of the
Well,
family?
everybody's different, you know, even though we're all a family here. I left home when I was 16 and started traveling, and went to Jamaica when I was 17, went to Europe when I was 18, and traveled around the world by myself when I was 19. So I'm different in the sense that I got out on my own early, and I had my first job when I was 14 and quit school. My mom didn't even know I quit school. I started working as a janitor in a department store, and I quit school, and she got a call from the school saying, you know, your son hasn't been here in 3 weeks. She goes, well, he's getting up and going somewhere every day. So she asked me, where are you going? I said, well, I've got a job, I'm working. So she let me quit school so I could work. And
So did you get your high school
I got
diploma?
my GED, yeah.
Oh, GED.
Yeah, I got the GED, and
Is that the one that Carl recently got after 20 years?
it could be.
Really?
Yeah, could be.
Interesting.
So anyway, I got on my own early and moved to California when I was, probably like around 20 years old. Moved out there more permanently. Got a job as a merchant seaman. I worked as a merchant seaman for about 10 years, working on cruise ships as a waiter and different other things. And
Yeah,
then,
you've had an adventurous life.
yeah,
Or interesting, I should say.
Yeah, pretty adventurous, and so I'm getting ready to go around the world again.
Let me go get my tripod.
Okay.
Looks like you have a lot of interesting things to
Yeah, well,
say.
I might run out of things.
So
and,
let
yeah,
me
go get
just
your
put it on tripod, then
Yeah.
you'll be
Okay.
talking more freely, okay?
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I was a merchant seaman for 10 years of my life, and was able to make enough money from that, because when you're at sea, there's no place to spend the money, so you're saving quite a bit of the money. You can usually come back with 90% of the money you made because your room and board is paid for. So I took that money, invested it in some real estate. So I was able to get some real estate pretty early on in my life. By the time I was 25, I already owned like 20 acres of property. So
Where? In California?
yeah, in California. Yeah, and since then I've bought some more, and then I've had, like, you know, between being a merchant seaman, I've done just every kind of job you can ever imagine. You know, one day I was getting a job down in Ocean City, Maryland, actually, and I was gonna pluck chickens. And I walked in the place, and the smell of the dead chickens, I just couldn't take it, so I never did actually get that job. But I actually showed up for work one day, and then I've done, like, bucked hay for a living for a while, and worked as a nighttime person in a bar. But the best job I think I ever had was a merchant seaman, because I got to travel, and I like to travel. We went mostly to South America. We'd go start in San Francisco, then go to LA, and then go to Manzanillo, Mexico, and then we'd go through the Panama Canal and stop in Panama, and then we'd go to Cartagena, Colombia, and then we'd go from there, we'd go to Venezuela, and then we'd go to Brazil, Argentina, go through the Straits of Magellan,
Good for
come
you.
out the other side, which would be Chile, Peru, and the other side of Colombia, because Colombia goes to both sides of the oceans there. So, and then we come back up and go to LA, well, actually Mexico, Panama, Mexico, then back to LA, and then back to San Francisco. So I did that. I did that run a lot, but I also worked over in Hawaii, and also went to Puerto Rico, and mostly South America for the 10 years I was a merchant seaman. But I was able to pretty get myself well established financially through that job, because even though I didn't get paid much, it had a lot of benefits. Like, for me, every month I worked, I got 10 days of vacation pay, and I was one of the lowest paid people on the ship.
Look who's here. How are you? I'm back. Hi,
Hey,
Rick.
Hey.
I found the lost chapter. The lost chapter.
You're ruining my interview,
Yeah.
Rick.
Sorry, man.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
That's good.
So then,
Okay.
all right. So then, I got 10 days. Every month I worked, I got 10 days of pay that I didn't work for. It's called vacation pay. So then the other end of the scale was the captains. We were the highest paid. And every month they worked, they got 2 months of pay.
Really?
So yeah, it worked out really well for them. They could work 1 month and get 2 months worth of pay.
So it must be hard work or special work?
No, they were just more important.
It's more important.
Yeah, captain of the ship. And so anyway, I did that for a while, and then continued on traveling. I've been to Hawaii quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I come back here just occasionally, you know, because it's kind of out of the way, and I don't really like the seasons too much. The winters are too cold, and the summers are too humid, so I don't get back here too often. But since I've had my son, I try to come back more often now because he's the only grandchild that my parents have. So I try to get back here whenever I can. And this is my second time now, and this is the most I've ever been back here in a shortest period of time.
We're here, what, a couple months ago, or maybe 6 months ago?
Christmas. I was here at Christmas.
Yeah, you were here.
And then the reason I came back now is because I'm leaving next year, so that's why I wanted to come back now.
What is he going with you?
No, he lives with his mom.
His mom.
Yeah, we were never really married. We lived together for 4 years, and then we split up, and so he has another family besides being with me. He's only actually with me normally every other weekend or every other week during the summer. But his mom, knowing that I'm going away, has been letting me spend a little extra time with him, kind of make up a little bit for while I'm gone. So, but I like to ride bikes and I like to travel, so it's going to be the trip of a lifetime.
I saw once a video of you riding bikes or standing with bikes, making a commercial or something.
Yeah, I've out there. I'm pretty well known, and I've won some of the events out there, and so they got a hold of me to do a commercial for TV promoting this particular ride that I do. And so yeah, and then that was pretty good. And then one time I went on a biking cruise. It was basically what it was. It was a cruise that left Puerto Rico and then went through the Caribbean, like Barbados, St. John, St. Martin, and a few other islands in the Caribbean. So out of the 1,500 people that are on the cruise boat, 40 of us were on this biking cruise that someone hired. And what they would do is these 40 people, rather than get on tour buses when we hit these different islands, we'd all hop on bikes and ride around. So it made it a little bit more interesting. The only trouble is the people that put it on were not bike riders. So they didn't really have a feel for what it was like to be out on the road on a bike. And me and only maybe about 2 other people were in pretty good shape for riding. Everybody else was kind of like, ride around the park, not really in good shape. So this guy would send us places and not even know the terrain. One day we're getting ready to go in Martinique. And so I asked him, I said, what's the terrain like today? Oh, it's flat. So we're riding along, and it wasn't flat at first, and then we get down by the ocean, and I look up in this hill where I see this road, and it's just straight up and down. I just laughed. I go, that's where we're going next, and everybody else laughed, but it turns out we were going there, and it was so steep, only me, I think, and one other guy actually were able to ride our bikes over. Everybody had to walk, but our vehicle, our support vehicle that was, going with us, it was so steep it broke down. So now we're out in the middle of nowhere with no van, and so then we're getting ready to go back. He goes, well, we're going to take the freeway on the way back. I go, what kind of freeway is it? He goes, well, it's not like any freeway you're used to. And I'm thinking, well, my idea was that was a kind of a mellow freeway with not a lot of traffic. Well, he sends us on this freeway during rush hour, and most times freeways you have one lane that comes on to the main part of the freeway. This freeway had 2 lanes that merged on. So when you're on a bike, you could not get out of the way, and you end up in the middle a lot, and it was just crazy. And then this guy that put it on, both him and his wife were extremely big people, and they were not bike riders, so they didn't really have a feel for what it was like to be out on the road with cars going by and stuff. So at the end of the trip, after it was all over, everybody was really mad at this guy, and he was in there trying, besides being a guy that put on these trips, what he really did for them, he's a hypnotist. So at the end of the trip, he's trying to sell us a bike trip to go over to China. And I was thinking to myself, well, this guy's going to have to hypnotize me if he thinks I'm going over to China with him. But so that was pretty interesting. So, and then, well, it's just, the merchant seaman thing, I really enjoyed that, because that was a good job, and we had whenever you see like ports, and there'll always be a place right near the ship where it's kind of popular, and the reasons for that is because that when you get into these ports in these foreign countries, you only have a one-day pass. So that when you go out that night or that day, if you don't get back before the ship leaves, you're actually in the country illegally. You usually only have enough money to last you for a short period of time. So it's very important that you stay near the ship. And
So it never happened to you?
it was close. I was in Brazil one time, and I couldn't speak the language, and got too far away from the ship, and I motioned down a taxi, and it was getting real close where I had to hurry up to get back. And so I started telling the guy, you know, take me back to the ship. Well, he didn't speak any English, and I couldn't speak Portuguese, which is his language. So I had to draw him a picture of a boat. He finally got the message and got me back to the ship on time. But they won't wait for anybody, not the captain, nobody, because they get charged a huge amount of money for staying there, and then if they stay late, then they get a huge fine. So they'll leave anybody, you know. And so that you really had to stay close to the ship. But that was kind of entertaining, you know, working on the ship and stuff, and you know, I really liked that. And so, but yeah, I'm just happy being out in California. I like the weather, and you know, and so.
So you have been really living separated from the family, maybe what, for past
30
15?
years.
30 years?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have been that long?
Yeah, I left home when I was 16. I came back just occasionally for a few months, but basically I left home when I was 16 and started traveling and been out on my own basically, you know, for 30 years. So,
tell me more about the time that you were together with the family. Any memories, any good memories, any...
yeah, I mean, you know...
Anything to remember?
Well, it's been 30 years, but yeah, I mean, it was basically, you know, I was pretty much, when I grew up, I was always in trouble. I was the one that was always in trouble out of the two.
So it wasn't Carl, it was you then?
No, it was me, yeah. I was definitely in more trouble than Carl and Rick.
Yeah, what did you do? One of the troubles.
Well, just to give you an example, when I was going to junior high school, that's when things really started kind of getting bad for me, because I was just constantly in trouble. And the first 2 weeks of junior high school, I was at the office 11 times, and I used to just make up stuff and trip up teachers in the hallways, just all kinds of bad stuff. And so one time they asked us to write an autobiography. Well, up to that point I didn't feel like my life was really all that interesting, so I just made some stuff up. And it was bad. I mean, it was really bad. I never should have done it. I made up stuff that my parents beat me and stuff, which was not true at all. And so they called my parents in to have a conference after I got in all this trouble, and they showed them this paper that I'd written. Oh man, yeah. I got in trouble. They were pretty mad. No, that was not a good thing to do, because they could have gotten in a lot of trouble. I look back on it now and I go, that was pretty foolish. But yeah, so, and you know, I was pretty much always in trouble when I was young, because I was kind of a rebel, you know, still kind of am in a lot of ways. But yeah, I was in trouble constantly. Like I said, in 2 weeks of junior high school, I was at the office 11 times, and they finally had to have a conference. When I was in high school, I got kicked out of high school, and just, like I said, just a lot of trouble, I think it's more, when you're that age, it's more for attention than anything else, you know, but I grew out of it.
What do you think made you to do that?
I think it was more of just attention, you know.
You mean you didn't receive enough attention?
Yeah, well, that, you know, it's hard to say.
From school, from society, from family?
Yeah, that's probably part of it, or, you know, it might have been my personality, you know, so. But, you know, I think you finally grow up and grow out of those kind of things and find to get attention other ways, you know, so. But like I said, you know, it's been 30 years, and, you know, we started off in Ohio. We lived in Youngstown, Ohio, and then we moved to Colesville, Maryland, and from Maryland we moved to Vera's Mill, and then pretty much I left home around that time.
Oh, so you really
I wasn't living at home when they...
in this house?
No, I never really lived in this house, no.
It must be 30 years.
Yeah, I was already gone, and then this place is kind of funny to me, because if you've ever seen the movie or the series Twilight Zone, that's what I think of every time that when I come in here, because you see all these nice houses, and then you come in here, it's like Twilight Zone, because it's so different.
At night, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're walking at night.
Yeah,
really,
it's really, you know, it's kind of nice that they've you know, they've kept this here and not sold out, because they probably could have sold out to the county and you know, had them come in here and bulldoze everything down, but they've held in there and fought the county, you know, kept them out of here, and so I think that's pretty, you know, says something for my folks, you know.
So
Don't
what?
let people push them around.
What is in the future?
The future for me, well, I'm only looking forward to the immediate future, and that would be my bike trip around the world with 250 people. So I think out of that trip, I'm going to end up with a whole lot of new friends, probably all over the world and all over the country for sure. I think it's about, I want to say like at least 90% of the people going are Americans. But I'll have a whole new group of friends, and I'd like to hopefully continue on traveling if I can. I might end up selling some of my real estate, and what I really like to do is just get on my bike and ride. But I've got my son I still got to, you know, deal with. When he starts getting a little bit older, that's kind of the plans for my future, is to ride. You can see so much more when you travel by bike. You miss a lot when you're in a car and stuff. So, and usually you go places where there's no traffic. And the area I live in, I mean, there's people that lived there all their lives, and they haven't been on the roads I've been on because they have no reason to go there. They're just, you know, I ride bikes to get away from the traffic, and they ride their cars where they're going to get from point A to point B, and so they have never really experienced too much of the roads around there. And it's kind of nice to ride by bike. So I try to do a lot of bike riding and try to, you know, help raise my son as best I can. And I'm even at my old age of 46, I'm still thinking about getting married and having another child. But
You are thinking of it.
still got to find the woman to do that with.
Looks like you're the only one among the three of you who's thinking, because it looks like Rick or Carl are not in this world. They don't want to.
Yeah,
maybe
you know,
maybe they're right.
Everybody's different,
Yeah.
and you can't say that the way a person lives is right or wrong. You just say it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
And I know that I certainly could not have lived at home as long as they have, but yeah, I'm sure at this point, at some point, maybe my mom and dad wanted to be by themselves, but now I'm sure they appreciate having their brothers around to help them out. But yeah, everybody's different, and just because they stayed at home doesn't make them bad people, you know. It's just different. That's all it is. And I couldn't do it because I was so much of a rebel. I was constantly trying to impress my views on them, and I realized this is their house, and it's not right for me to tell them how to live their life. And so that's when I decided that I need to go out and find out what the world was all about. And it's not an easy place out there when you're young and trying to find work and trying to pay all the bills and stuff. But I'd rather have done that than sat around and fought with my parents, you know, about their beliefs and my beliefs and stuff like that. So, but it's been pretty interesting life, I gotta say, and hopefully it'll continue on being interesting. And I'm looking forward to my bike trip coming up. I'll have a lot of stories, I'm sure, after that.
Yeah. Oh, we would like to see you after that to.
Yeah, definitely.
To hear about your stories.
Yeah, I'll be back. You know, I'll be back at some point. But
are you going to take a camera or something?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. If I get some money together, I might end up taking like a laptop computer and do some emailing, and definitely going to have a camera and stuff, so get some good pictures, stuff like that. A lot of good experiences, I'm sure. And just really looking forward to that trip, you know. So.
Now, since you are the only one I can ask this question, do you want your son to be like you?
I want him to do positive things with his life. I've already tried to get him to do exercise and stuff. I'm kind of an exercise nut myself, and he's done, actually, when he was 7 years old, I talked him into doing a triathlon, and then he did it again, I think, when he was 11. But then at one point he told us, you know, this is just too hard. He didn't really like to train, and you have to train. The training makes it easier. And he didn't want to train. I said, fine, but he's into other things. He goes to this camp called Camp Winter Rainbow. They nickname it a clown camp every year. He learned how to ride a unicycle, juggle, walk on stilts, and those kind of things. So, and he's been in a choir before, so as long as he does positive things with his life, that would be fine with me. I don't really care what it is, as long, you know, as he doesn't hurt somebody and does positive things with his life. That's the important thing, because if he doesn't want to follow in my footsteps, that's fine, but I would like to at least think that he's doing some good things with his life, and so far he has been, you know. So that makes me feel kind of good.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward for the trip?
Yeah.
And you said it's going to take all year?
The whole year.
The whole
we'll
year?
be gone actually 366 days. from January 1st to January 1st of the year. So we've gone the whole year of the year 2000. We'll be back January 1st, 2001.
So it's already planned.
It's
Well
all,
planned.
yeah, I've been paying on it for a number of years, so has everybody else. They've had it filled up, the whole trip filled up quite a few years ago. And the people that are putting on, it's a company out of Seattle, Washington, and they've put on a lot of organized rides like across the country and stuff. And since 1993 when they started this, they're bike riders themselves, and they've gone over the whole course over the last 7 years, just so they know what the good roads to take, where to stop to eat, and all that kind of stuff. So they've got it all mapped out for us, which is good. I don't think I could undertake something like this by myself. I'd be too worried, because there's always safety in numbers. We're going to be spending quite a bit of time in South Africa, and have some people, oh, don't go there, and all this and that. But you know, safety in numbers, that's where it's at. You know,
Yeah,
so.
that's very interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
I like this kind of adventures, but unfortunately, I'm not in a situation to
Right.
do the same.
Not everybody is. Now, I'm just
No.
fortunate that this
Yeah.
particular time in my life that I'm able to go, and you know, so it's been, yeah, just fortunate enough for me that I was able to save my money, because it's something I always wanted to do, and got the trip planned out, and so I'm just feeling really fortunate, and I can't wait to get started.
Okay. So, do you have any? As you said, everybody's different.
Yeah.
If you were asked to say something to family, brothers, if they asked you, let me put it this way, what should they do with this property, for example?
Yeah, well, I would say that don't let anybody buy you out. I mean, we were here first. All these houses came second.
Exactly.
You know, so we were the ones here first. There's nothing wrong with, you know, building, you know, and stuff. And I think, you know, if the neighbors don't like it, there's an old saying, tall fences make good neighbors. So just build a bigger fence. But, you know, I'm like pretty much opposite of my brothers. They like to collect things, and I like to throw them away. I don't like collecting things at all, unless it's pictures or something. But basically, I'm more of a throwaway, and they're more into keeping stuff.
So
we're quite a bit different. But I lived a different lifestyle. You know, I've been gone for 30 years, and I've been in California quite a bit of that time, and traveled a lot. And they're just different from me. But like I said, I think they're still good people. I think my whole family's they're good people. They try to help people out, and I think, you know, that there's got to be some people in the world that try to help people. Otherwise, everybody's going to be having a hard time. So I think they're good people. And as far as what they'd want to do with this place, it's up to them. You know, if they want to fix it up, you know, that's kind of up to them. It's their place. And, you know, I have my stuff out there, and I really couldn't make any suggestions because I'm not here. You know, so it's really not kind of my place.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this whole neighborhood around them are all built after they moved in.
Exactly.
So none of these houses or none of these neighbors were there.
Right.
Even most of these neighbors, I can say for sure that they were not even born when they moved in here. Look at them, most of them are young.
Yeah.
So
Right.
about 30, 35, maybe even under 30.
Right.
Many of them were not even born.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they are really part of this family, as far as I know, of this neighborhood family.
Right.
And yeah, if they don't like it, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know they used to get a lot of, I've just heard they used to get a lot of complaints from the neighbors, but you know, there's a point where you can only fight so long, and then you just have to just deal with it, you know?
Yeah.
You got the house, you know, if you knew this was here, if you didn't want this here, then you shouldn't have bought the house. That's the bottom line right there, so.
Yeah, actually, we have annual cookout parties usually for the past 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
My son initiated it.
Oh.
It's called back to school parties, usually Labor Days.
Mm-hmm.
And neighbors usually come around our house. In front we just make hamburgers and
Oh, that's nice.
hot dogs. And I'm gonna ask your parents and Rick and Carl, and you'll be gone anyway next
Yeah.
week, right?
Right.
To join us this year,
Wow.
and I'm sure they will. They will come. I don't know about your dad. Maybe not comfortable. He's not
Yeah.
probably comfortable there, but
Yeah.
he'll be well.
He doesn't like to leave much. He likes
Yeah.
to stay at home quite a bit.
He would like to sit most of the time here and talk to the kids.
Yeah.
He's very interesting person.
Yeah.
I found
Yeah.
him very interesting, very
Right.
charming,
Yeah.
very kind. I think
Yeah.
your whole family are
Right.
really special. To me,
Right.
they're special.
Yeah. They're a different kind of
I
people.
was always
for sure.
wanted to meet you too, because if
Yeah.
they're special, good people, so you must be
Yeah.
one of them too.
Right.
But anyway, I'm glad we saw you finally.
Yeah.
And-
I heard about you.
I was planning if I go to San Francisco to find you somewhere there,
Wow.
because I was planning to go,
Uh-huh.
but it just didn't happen.
Okay.
Anyway, I got your number once or twice,
Yeah.
and I called that number twice, but there was no answer.
Yeah, well, one of my numbers, I had changed it, so.
Yeah, there was no answer.
Right, it might have been the one I had to change.
Anyway,
Yeah.
since where's Rick?
I don't know where he took off to.
You know what I would like to do? I'd like to get all of you together and
Uh-huh.
take some shots. I don't think you have shots together. Have
No,
you?
I don't
Really?
know. I don't
That's
know if we do.
interesting, yeah? So I'm going to
Okay.
do that.
All
Anyway,
right.
thank you very much.
Okay,
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
bye.
See? This one's him. Which side?
Mosquitoes out here, huh?
Which side is it?
Biting the heck out of me.
That's this?
No, the battery goes in like
You
that.
tell me,
Went out
you
to that
tell
park
me.
today. Supposed to be the biggest park or something in Humboldt County.
Oh, yeah.
Prescott
Humboldt
or
County.
something like that.
You mean
It's
marijuana
out towards
county?
Clarksburg.
Oh,
That's what it is, marijuana county. You live in marijuana county?
No,
You know?
I live in Arcata.
Mr. Beede, how do you feel about your grandchild?
Good, I want 10 more of them.
10 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
get on it right away.
He is already planning, I know.
I only
Oh,
got 3 boys, I should get at least 10 of them.
Mark, Carl, did you hear that?
I get on it right away here.
Did you hear that?
I'm working on it. I got 3 wives. And
Take a little bit cotton.
Time is money. Gotta get that house built.
Yeah, get closer.
We're gonna do
You
a
get
family
the short
portrait.
people get in the middle. Ian, there like that.
What?
Shorty, you get down the middle.
Okay, anybody has something to say, please say it. This is
This is the Beede family, the best family in all of Gaithersburg. That's right.
right.
It doesn't get any better than this.
That's the Beede. That is the Beede
Yeah. I got all
family.
the money.
The Beede family.
The Beede-
Okay.
The Beede
We're all
Mafia.
going to be
The
millionaires.
Beede,
before
what?
we
The
die.
Beede Mafia. He's called it Beede Mafia.
Yeah.
All right.
Beede Mafia. Anybody messes with this family, they get shot. Survivors will be shot twice.
Okay. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Rick. All right. Back to work now.
Hi, Wes.
Okay.
Hey, Wes, come on over here and get in. How does the computer
Wes.
I don't know.
Okay.
Good enough.
Come on. Talk to him.
No, that's
Talk to him.
no, I ain't watching the camera, man. I've been running the jackhammer. I'd probably end up pushing the button and breaking it or something.
No, you see,
Push the button on the press over there.
Wes, just talk to me about something, whatever you want.
Carl's the cameraman.
Okay? Come on. I'll leave this for him, okay? Come on, it's running. Talk to him.
It's running?
Go ahead. It's running. It's running.
Well, turn it off, Carl.
Look at that. It's exactly.
All right, Wes, tell us everything you
Turn
know.
it off.
Tell us everything you know, man. It's running.
Turn that damn thing off.
Everything you know, Wes. Everything. All right, there's the gingerbread house back there.
It's going to be all over the world, Wes.
Yeah, this is going all over the world. There's Wes right there. Over here we have this fine old Ford Mercury. All right, how do we shut this off? I don't know, man. Let's record.
So I looked at the, I don't know, do you call that your house?
Oh yeah, the barn.
Barn, yeah. So it has been a little bit changed since last time I saw it.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that other addition going over there.
When do you think you're gonna maybe get it somehow finished?
Before winter time, I'm gonna have the roof on it. I gotta have the roof.
2030.
2030? No, 2050. Yeah, I mean,
there's more plans, right?
now I gotta at least get that thing under roof before winter time for sure.
Which is next month.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, because I'm well along the way now. I got the thing all laid out and everything.
That's a gun.
You got a gun?
It's a real gun.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a real.
It's okay. Anybody trespass, they get shot. Survivor can be shot twice.
Yeah.
The real, is it blank or just real?
That's real.
Real?
Real blank. Yeah.
That's real.
It looks like real gun.
It's real.
So,
I'm trying to load it.
so how long do you talk to it?
I didn't know I was taking my voice. I was saying, told him to turn it off.
We were trying to figure out how to get it turned off. We were having
I
a
was
big,
just
big
joking.
talk about that. You know?
Yeah. So last year you had no, not last year, but a couple of years ago, you had a party here, right? With all your students here.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I had too many of my students.
There was.
A bunch of the special needs. I only had one special needs student in that whole entire class.
What was his name was?
Mikey. He still comes.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yeah.
I have him. Yeah, on tape. Yeah.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he comes around every now and then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's going back to college. He's going to get into a C++ type thing. So that'll be good for him.
He's going to college now.
Yeah, to Montgomery College for 1 semester. That'll be good for him.
Why 1 semester?
I think that's all he's worth. Yeah, that's it. Spending all the money, right?
Okay, so I told him I'll be back within an hour. The
Okay.
kids are waiting. So
Okay.
I'll see you, Mr. Beede.
Okay.
See you soon again, okay?
All right. Okay.
All right.
Over now.
Bye-bye.
The gun loaded. Time to get back.
You're going to have load that for me?
When you come back, I'll have it all loaded for you.
Okay. I can take it now. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Can't do it now.
Okay. Let me get this one off the record.